Okay, so on this map, you start to see a little bit more where cool terrain kind of comes into play.
Yeah, you got some bottlenecks in here.
Yeah.
And I would assume as well the bigger game will have a larger map anyway.
Yeah.
So.
And do you reckon you can actually traverse down that valley of almost certain death, or is that
down into the water?
No. I mean, you've got these sort of two raised sections here with the sort of snowy caps, and between it there is a sort of alleyway, but I don't think you can actually walk down there.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't look as if it's actually a full hex, does it?
No.
What did John do? Don't know what John did.
I failed in summoning a goblin. What can I say?
Yeah, this game could almost do with like an action log, where you can kind of see the things that have happened. I quite often miss what's just gone on.
No, I think that's part of the charm is to to keep attention, isn't it? To a point, I'd guess. Oh, percentages are interesting this time, Rich. Okay. I've got a few more spells than I had last time, which is nice.
So, whose team am I on?
No idea.
Look on the left-hand side. You're on team 1, which is me.
Ah, right, brilliant.
Yeah, we'll have one of them.
Okay, so I won't bother sending anything your way then, Foz.
Well, no.
So it's me and you, Alan. So, John, for the benefit of, obviously, because we were following your feed here, is it worth you bringing up your spell list and just giving people an idea of what some of the things are? Oh, no, because then you'll be telling us everything you've got. That's a shame.
Yeah. Yeah. They are seeing my spells, and I am taking my time in the menu so people can have a good look at what's available. I pretty much nearly used all of them in the last game, so that was a good tutorial.
I found in one of the games I played, I lost a load of spells.
Yes.
How did that happen?
There is a spell called something.
I think it's Vengeance.
Yeah, which...
or no, actually, I think it's a lot of the spells. There's the spells that do direct damage to creatures. They can either kill creatures, but you can't kill wizards with them.
Oh, interesting.
But what will happen is instead the wizard will lose spells.
Okay, so spells work like hit points with damage spells. Interesting.
But which is it? Because in the original Chaos, there was a chance. I'm sure there was a chance if you hit a wizard with one of those spells that one or two of maybe their summoned creatures would dispel.
Oh, that's cool.
But that doesn't seem to be the case now. It seems to be that what you've got in your bank disappears.
Yeah, we need to hurry Chris up, don't we?
I'm thinking.
I did reduce the turn time to 2 minutes.
Yeah, I've noticed that. It is pushing down a bit.
It's funny, the turn timer reminds me of the air gauge on Manic Miner.
or Space Hulk. I mean, I don't know if you remember your action stuff in Space Hulk. It was very
on the Amiga.
Very precious. Yeah. Well, you had it on the PC too, but the time was very precious. It was interesting.
I just remember how often those bolt guns used to jam at the worst possible moment. My favourite one was setting. I've talked about it to be a different game now, but was setting up the lightning claws on a corner, because it would take the Gene Stealers 2 moves to hit the corner and turn, so you'd always get a swipe in.
Okay, what should we have?
I quite like your Hulk you've got going on here.
Yeah, he's not bad.
The Jolly Green Giant.
Jolly Green Giant, obviously.
Ah. We're all struggling on the spellcasting here.
Yeah, and Skeleton's quite a high percentage one, isn't it? It's not like 85% or something?
Yeah.
This is the problem I was having the other night. I think I used up half my spell list and didn't have anything to show for it. Of course, if you're Fozzie, you just cast loads of illusions. Oh, not biting.
He's thinking really, really hard.
Either that or he's swearing at me and he's got his mute button on again.
I'll leave you to figure out which one it was.
That'll be the mute button then.
Oh dear. shame.
Okay. Interesting. Oh.
I'm hoping to see some plants this time around. I want to see some shadow word or some tangled vines or something.
Going well.
Not pleased about that. No, not
No.
pleased about that.
Wonder why occasionally you get spells listed in your spell list twice.
You get 2 of them.
Yeah, you can use it twice.
Oh, right. Well, can you only use one spell once?
Yeah, once
Okay.
you've used it, it goes from the list.
Okay, interesting. Okay.
So that's where, I mean, I think on the last round I had something like 4 magic bolts. It was crazy. One of the things I quite like about this actually in the prototype is if you scroll out and sort of head out over the sea, there's this weird kind of Van Gogh swirly sort of pattern under the water, which is quite nice and evocative. I think John should take people of a tour of that.
I just did it.
Oh, excellent. And we were also saying the other night that one of the things that's quite nice on some of the brighter creatures, like the I think on the eagle, if you get the angle right, but you get sort of J.J. Abrams lens flare on some of the objects, which is quite an interesting effect, particularly for a sort of a prototype.
You'll probably find that lens flare is something that's probably just built into the Unity engine, so they probably just need to turn it on and do some settings with it.
It's probably on by default.
Yeah, not to knock, Julian and his team and their ability, but these game engines these days are, they can do a lot of stuff for you.
Yeah.
Isn't the Oculus Rift built around Unity as well?
Yeah, you can. I can't see our Oculus Rift working particularly well with this. It would be very weird.
It would be weird, but I wouldn't say it wouldn't work. I thought it would be quite cool to be.
And like a nice little 3D chessboard.
Absolutely. No, I meant from the angle that we're at the moment. In sort of it being slightly fixed. But I could see it working. I'd like the perspective sort of lower or something else.
Well, you can do that if you use the scroll in, scroll out on the mouse wheel.
Oh, yeah.
It also adjusts the angle, so you can get.
I've not got a mouse wheel on this laptop, unfortunately.
Oh,
So I didn't know that. There we are. You see, I had a gravity and space station moment. There we are.
Is that what we're calling it now?
Yeah. Well, I'll have to laugh at myself, I know. No one else.
I don't know though. Even if they just had the Oculus Rift just from the wizard's viewpoint, imagine seeing that giant that you cast to begin with looming over you, looking up at it with an Oculus Rift. That would be quite cool.
Yeah, I think it would. I mean, I think unrestricting the view for a year, unrestricting the view, it's going to be one of the, the sort of major things to look at, isn't it? In terms of what.
John always seems to end up with an army of eagles. I don't know where he gets them from.
Oh,
One less there. Oh, okay. That one wasn't real anyway. You and your fake eagles. You wait and see. I'm going to get a gold dragon in a minute, and you're all going to be convinced.
What should we have?
I should say.
Well, even though he doesn't have any creatures, I think Alan's in the most defensive position. I mean, you just don't want to go near those trees, do you?
I have to say, I mean, you probably shouldn't reveal what's in your hand, but I do feel like having a little bit of a complaint. I've got in my hand 2 gold dragons and 2 green dragons. So I have 4 creatures in my hand with a summoning power of 20%.
Well, at least if you tip the scales in favour of law, you might increase the chance of getting a golden dragon.
Like to 28% or something like that. Well, I'm feeling quite hard done by.
But then again, if you think about it, the cumulative chances, you've got an 80% chance that one of those spells will be successful if you cast it as real.
Now, does statistics work? This is one of the things I get confused about with statistics. Does it work that way, or is it just 4 lots of 20%?
Well, no, the way it works is that if you multiply the chances, it's 80%. However, if you cast one of them, it doesn't mean that the next one has an increased chance of being cast.
Right, yeah. So the last one you cast isn't an 80% chance. It's still only a 20% chance.
Correct.
Yes. Because the thing I find with games, you have sort of things that have a... I was playing the new updated XCOM the other day, and I took 2 shots that were both rated 60%, and both of them missed. And I thought, well, actually, if you take those in combination, the chance is 120%, but it still doesn't happen. There you go, math lesson for everybody. Sucky dwarf.
Dwarves, although they don't move far, they've got a high defensive rating.
Yeah, I have to, and I haven't quite got my head around how the kind of comparative stats play out.
Well, if you want to work out your chances of success, you divide the attack power of the attacker by the defense of the defender, and you'll get a percentage there. That's the basic baseline. Obviously, there's probably going to be modifiers or something.
So if you've got if you've got like an attack of 8 and a defense of 2, it's 4. So what's that? 40%?
No, that'll be like I don't know how it works when they're the wrong way round like that. But the idea is that you'll usually find that the defense will be higher than the attack. So if you've got an attack of 2 and a defense of 4, it'll be 50%.
Okay, so you've got so just looking at you, so you've got a defense of 4, and that magic bolt I just used has a power of something like 10, and I think it says it's the power of the bolt versus defense rather than magic resistance for some reason. So that's
well, magic resistance I think reduces that attack power.
Okay. Bizarre. That's a good job we're not doing this as an audio podcast.
Yeah, it'd be really boring.
Hopefully John's doing some really impressive camera work that people will just be like, I don't mind that they're not talking. Look at this video. It's incredible.
Yeah, I'm spinning. I'm just constantly spinning it around with every vertigo.
Do you know what? I've actually got, if you've got a decent enough frame rate, I've got these really old 3D glasses that came with the Radio Times, which basically work on the principle of slowing one of your eyes down. And it's totally impractical because to create a 3D scene, you basically need everything to be rotating around a point. But if it is rotating around a point, it'll convert it into beautiful 3D for you.
Cool.
I remember there was a thing the BBC did, and they did a special episode of, I think, Doctor Who and EastEnders. And it was just this weird TV where everything was just constantly on this merry-go-round.
Yeah, you're in a bit of a tricky position there, Alan, aren't you? Because you've only got one way out.
Yep.
Ugh.
I think
Everything
the trick
is failing today.
I think the trick that we're slightly missing on this sort of group call is I think what you'd really need to make 2v2 really stand out from the other modes, because really essentially we've almost got two 1v1 games going on. And I think ideally what you'd have is you'd have us in private conversations and we could actually compare spell lists and see what we've got that would work well together.
You can have a private conversation. If you go into the chat mode, you can speak to just the team, or you can speak to everybody.
Oh, right, I see. I've not seen that before because it's obviously only ever been
Enabled on
yeah
2v2.
Oh,
Yeah.
interesting.
I'm quite have to say, John, I'm quite happy with the position here. It's not horrendous.
Well, the thing is, if somebody managed to get something nasty like a vampire in there blocking your way, you got nowhere to run, really.
Yeah, but I got lots of mates. Just because they're trees.
Yeah, but if it was a vampire, they couldn't attack an undead.
Oh, yeah, no, very true. Yeah, because they're shadow creatures. Yeah, okay. They're not magic. Hmm.
Well,
God
that could
dear.
have been very exciting.
Yeah, had a really exciting name.
Well, it's quite nice because it allows you to pick 3 targets. So I managed to select John and Fozzer, and if it had worked, they would potentially both have lost 2 spells each. Which is where you're saying you sometimes see spells vanish. That's the spell that does it, or one of the ones anyway. It's a triple damnation or something like that. I see what you mean about the positioning. Alan is effectively now in a sort of box canyon. Green giant.
Yeah,
and to actually use that giant, he's now going to have to walk the long way around.
Yeah, but it did sort of, it served its purpose in that it's moved the position of battle, hasn't it? So certainly for me, it was enough.
Obviously, in the wizard world, you can't summon an engineering corps soldier that can build you a nice little makeshift bridge across that ravine.
Well, if I'd had a bit more thought about it, I mean, what I did is I positioned those trees to put the maximum pressure on Foz to make him move back. If I'd thought about it a little bit more, then maybe what I would have done is made a path. Basically just position the trees so that there was one route through.
But you're talking about building a bridge, which is interesting because Julian said that there's going to be a chasm spell, which will remove the ground in certain places. So I don't think it's too much of a stretch to think of a spell that could actually bridge gaps like that.
I'd like to see some terrain altering stuff. I think in this game with the hexes and everything, the ability to kind of rise yourself up onto a sort of volcano or drop an opponent into a pit so that you've got that height advantage.
This morning.
Is really valuable. What was that?
A mistake. Sorry.
Sounded like weirdly middle of the road blues. What have I got that can do anything?
Yeah, I'm not on a good spell list now. I started well.
I'm going to have to just try these and just hope for the best. That's not happening.
Nope.
If you did manage one of them, you'd see me scarpering pretty
Yeah,
quick.
exactly. Yeah. That's the thing. They've got 4 chances. I might as well use them. And plus, if I do manage to get one, it will almost certainly waste someone's turn on a disbelieve because there's no way they'll believe that it actually got summoned for real.
It's quite interesting, the slight delay.
Yes. Oh, great.
Right.
But again, I suppose this is where this new turns feature or bug, however you look at it. But number of turns are going to play a part. That you can't really just sit there, waiting for someone to come and attack you.
Yeah, it was a close called thing actually in the last match, wasn't it? I think we got up to about turn 17 or 18.
I mean, they have battle points so that you get points for casting spells and for attacking, but it doesn't seem to be implemented in the prototype at the moment.
Oh, is that what I've seen those in a menu somewhere? Yeah, I didn't really understand what they were for. It's interesting as well that these bits of terrain you can only kind of get on or off them at one point. They're not open at both ends. There's no step at the far end. So if that tree wasn't in the way and I were to go and see Fozzer, I couldn't actually get adjacent to him. There's no way off or down.
Got plus 4% on law now. Oh, what'd you get? Oh. That's a bit funky.
Yeah, we'll see.
Should be able to breathe fire.
With a bit of luck. Oh, it's still me.
Well, the part of the balance is obviously you can't use that creature until the next turn.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Which always used to be one of the things about the Spectrum game, is that you could always place your wizard last on the the last one to go on the turn, which meant that you can always cast an illusion spell and get at least one turn worth of use out of it.
Oh dear, that's not good.
We've only got 12 turns to survive.
We appear to have bottled them in.
Yeah, I'm just going to hunt them all down with my dragon now.
I got a long way to go to get round to you.
I'm not even convinced. No, because this is what I was saying. There isn't a way down at the other end of that walkway.
So no.
You've basically got one way down, and that's not it.
Okay.
Which is harsh.
Yeah.
So I'm guessing you're lacking range stuff.
You could say that. Yeah.
I think, I'm not sure. Can you go to the end of... Oh, no, you can't. I'm wondering if you can summon something off the edge of the chasm that can effectively get round.
And then you can jump down onto its back, like in the westerns.
Yeah, that'd be amazing.
How long does Magic Bow last? It lasts for good, doesn't it?
Yeah, for good.
Oh,
yeah.
Cool. Okay.
Yeah, this is designed really for the likes of...
That's some very specialist porn you've got going on in the background.
We must be boring Foz if he's
watching videos. There's bound to be one with a cat. Now, can you attack your own trees? I don't think you can you?
No.
No, and I'm not sure if that's a bug or not.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we have created something of a situation, really.
What, in that we've bottled them in?
Well, in that we've bottled you in.
Oh,
If
no.
your creatures are on foot.
Look at it the other way round. Look how many failed castings there are with two wizards stood together, and you walking in there with a mass of creatures. I don't think it's a problem.
Oh, it wasn't even real anyway.
I'm just showing people watching the video the illusion mechanic.
Oh, and absolutely. Are you going to put subtitles on it? What Chris doesn't know.
There's going to be lots of lols appearing in the video.
This is our version of Time Commanders. We could have all those kind of, but approaching from the west. Now that should be a really good sort of vantage point for you there with the dragon, because if you can move him up, he obviously can't be attacked by ground, so you can move him up to a point and get some of your ranged attacks in, and you should be fairly safe.
Yeah. Is this a good idea? I might end up regretting this.
Go on then.
Failed anyway. Brilliant. After all that.
Yeah, we don't want to block everything off.
I was going to create a corridor of killing
Okay.
through which everything would have had to have passed. But yeah, it didn't work out. Ah! It's funny actually. I thought because you hadn't taken that shot previously, on the golden dragon, I'd assumed that the lion was somehow blocking line of sight.
No, I wanted your wizard really because that was the best chance I had of stopping that golden dragon.
Oh no,
I think.
absolutely. I was just like I say, I was surprised you didn't take the shot at the dragon.
Okay, things are looking better for me now. I'm not so worried.
I'm in trouble now, 1 against 2. And I'm the guy with, with no ability. I'm the one that, that got knocked out first last time. He played 2 games. What's going on with that?
Well, I still have concerns over your giant. They are pretty powerful.
Yeah, well, I've got to find a way to actually get him to you.
He needs like a little stair lift or something.
You imagine a giant should be able to step down a little bit higher than the rest of us.
You think?
Yeah, he doesn't appear to be able to.
And if he just put that fucking boulder down and climb down using his hands, it'd be fine.
We use the boulder as a step. I mean, Yeah.
I am looking forward to the animation for that giant if he's able to smash people on the head with that boulder.
Yeah.
It
I
would
quite like
just be
these
like battle
trees.
chess, won't it?
I do like these trees. I like the fact they've got these kind of spindly arms. I feel like they're going to have some sort of tickle attack.
Oh dear. No, we're not doing that. No, we're not doing that. No, we're not. Yep, do that one then. Cast. Don't think there's anything else I can do, is there? What else am I supposed to be able to do?
Well, you could have moved that goblin. You can go the long way round,
That's it.
round the back.
No, it was just I didn't know how I hadn't moved everything. I couldn't see where my zombie was because he looks a bit like a tree. Worked out. I have to say the chat window is annoying. I can't work out how to close the chat window.
I think just click on one of the buttons.
No, it doesn't.
Hit enter or something.
Yeah.
See if that makes it go away.
Yeah, it does. Foz fail another casting.
No, Foz failed his 3rd manticore in a row.
Oh man! But you had a lot of manticores then to begin with.
Yeah.
Well, at plus 15% law, you're not going to get them now, are you?
Well, I'm running out of other options.
Not the only one.
I'm just picturing that if anybody is sort of watching this video, I should have phrased that. If anybody is still watching this video, the point at which I think this is the point where they're now just skipping ahead to the end just to see if there's an ending to this
I can't get down.
battle, or whether this is 10 turns of grid deadlock.
Ah, no, I can get down the long way round. So I have to go all the way round. That's interesting.
Are those steppable blocks? Are they on that side?
Where the wizard is, I can get round.
Where the wizard is.
Where the giant is, I can't.
How can you get around where the wizard is?
Down here.
So it's around the floor, around the base of where the giant is.
Yep.
Yeah, I can't work out if those are full hexes.
The giant can't get down from where he is.
No, that's right. I'm talking about walking around the base. I'm not sure whether or not you can actually do that, but we'll see. Is there enough turns for you to walk that distance?
We'll find out, won't we? How do I end turn without moving everything?
There's a button somewhere.
Bottom left-hand corner.
Bottom left. No, there isn't.
Oh.
No button here.
Top left?
Nope.
Select your wizard and then see if it appears.
Okay, just gives me the casting options. Quick game. Oh, end turn has now appeared. Yep. Yes. There you go.
Time for another manticore.
No one's going to believe this if it appears.
Yeah, a manticore called a centaur.
Well, shoots things.
Centaur the manticore. So the Kickstarter's doing better today.
Yeah, it's had a good 24 hours, I think.
I think.
It's definitely going to be a squeaker, but,
Mhm.
it's getting there.
I think so. What did John cast?
I failed in casting a lion.
Let's have a look. Yeah,
One of those
here we go.
games, unfortunately.
Yeah, appears to be high failure rate.
Hopefully, of course, everyone will listen to our latest podcast that we've put out at laveradio.com, and they'll have heard our shout out for the Kickstarter and be going in droves to throw as much money as they possibly can the Chaos Reborn Kickstarter.
Well, I think it certainly had an effect. I think that's our plugging it.
And also, when we were talking about the interview, we were talking about the interview we did with Julian Gollop, so that's on the website.
Yeah, absolutely.
Pluggity plug.
Pluggity plug. But I think, in terms of, because we might obviously get some people watching this video that maybe aren't regulars on the Lave Radio podcast, and we've had a number of Kickstarters that we've sort of followed, and I think one of the things that we've said along the way is that there is huge value in just, even if you don't want to kind of commit the money to a Kickstarter, just kind of tweeting out the link or sharing it on Facebook is a massive help when you're trying to get the word out to as many people as possible. Actually, if everybody who saw it, if everybody who saw it shared it, the reach would just be huge. And I think sometimes people look at Kickstarters, and if they don't want to back it themselves, you sort of look at something and you think, oh, that's interesting, but I'm not really interested in backing it. But just putting the word out makes a huge difference.
Yeah, and also the things like Thunderclap, obviously make that difference too. They kind of assist and sort of help with that, don't they? In terms of what's there. That elf of yours is very annoying.
The elves are great.
He's got a bow. He can fire, and I can't get to him.
I know, it's pretty much one of my favourite units.
Can't do anything about him. The only thing I could have done is stayed where I was, in which case John would have just stayed where he was. So,
Yeah. You are going to be covered from an elevated position. I'm just curious to see if you can get around this bend, because it looks really tight.
Better to see.
You never know, he might kind of do that little hop and skip or something.
Do you have a wall run spell? What was that?
That's Foz's lion coming to join the party. Although he might be better off attacking those trees, because we are yet to see whether Alan can get round here.
I wonder if there's no fog of war.
Well, there will be in the RPG, but on the arenas, no.
So do you reckon the RPG is going to be turn-based even for kind of wider exploration? Or do you think turn-based only kicks in once you've kind of got an opponent?
I think it's probably, I would say it's probably part of the wider exploration. I would hope so.
Turn-based?
Yeah, well, or unless you get within a certain vicinity of an NPC wizard or something, I guess,
Because it's a bit like, because if you look at something like, D&D or any kind of tabletop thing, obviously D&D does have a sense of how long actions take to go on, but really, unless you're actually actively battling monsters, there isn't really any sense of a turn.
Yeah, but
things need to happen in.
But XCOM works very well as a turn-based thing, even when you don't know where the opponent is.
Yes, this is very true.
Right.
I suppose I was just thinking in terms of the scale of the realms you might be exploring in Chaos. I suppose I was thinking of something like Civilization, which obviously is still turn-based, but takes a really long time
to explore
to kind of get units around.
Yeah, sure. I mean, obviously, if you're in a sort of wide space, and it's turn-based. You're going to spend more and more time summoning creatures. Because that's obviously the difference here. In that games like XCOM, you've got a limited number of things, as it were.
I saw that. I think Foz is just taking the piss now.
Now he
walked
works.
all the way to the
Yeah,
other
yeah.
track,
Now he works.
and now he's got rid of the tree.
Now he works the route out. Yeah.
It's good work, though. I mean, I think that these trees have a massive defensive value, don't they?
Well, they appear to be holding out okay.
It's normally about, what is it, about 10-15% for attacking those trees? Or am I thinking of the Tanglevine? It's one or the other. Ooh.
It's a shame. Could have been a lot worse.
I love the fact it was an illusion of an elf.
Could have been a lot worse for you.
Well, the way that my casting's been going, I needed an illusion because I'm not getting any creature spells out.
That's interesting that subversion destroys an illusion.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Because I suppose if you knew you'd cast something as an illusion and then someone subverted it, that then the next thing you'd do is disbelieve it. But at the same time, there's a psychology aspect, isn't there? Because I think actually it's quite easy to lose track sometimes of which ones you've cast as. I sometimes forget that I've got a piece in play, which is actually an illusion. And there's maybe an aspect of the game that says maybe you should be able to subvert an illusion. Oh. Total victory for team.
Ah, well.